and welcome to the second part of my video about WOT 2025 game about Polish Territorial Defense Force. So, we are in the part 2 of the breach scenario, and so far Russians are doing quite fine, I believe. They managed to push Poles onto their main line of defense, which is on the river Montwa, with only small Polish groups on the other side of the river. And now Russians have to move through the river because they will get their victory points for the villages that are on the other side of the river. Okay, so what I'm going to do. First, I will move these combat engineers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. They are here because of the two reasons. First, they will because of them being on that hex, then my motorized and mechanized units are allowed to cross this river, and also they are going to build a bridge on this river, so my supply will be able to be transported on the other side of the river. And now this Russian mechanized company moves next. It spends 1, and now it has to spend half of its movement points to move through the river, so it spends 10, so it has 11, and that's where it finishes its movement. Alright, so now these tanks are moving here, and now Polish anti-tank guided missiles are firing on them. They are firing on the range of 1 hex, so they have firepower of 7 against Russian tanks armor of 4, so they have +3. I think this is quite good. Let's check it out. I'm making my roll, and I rolled 4. 4 in the column of we have 7 against 4, so we have 3. 4 in the column of 3, it is 2. So Russian company suffers 2-step losses. Well, that's bad. 2, 4. These tanks, several of these tanks were destroyed or heavily damaged by the Polish javelins. Alright, now here I'm pushing this Polish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will move this headquarter here, and now these recon units here are virtually useless because they cannot enter marsh hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The question is if Poles want to launch their to fire another 80 GM here. So sorry, I should reduce the number because I fire it again. I think I will try because these are BTRs and they have only armor of 1. So I will fire again, this time with the strength of 7 and -1 because of the Russian armor, so my firepower is +6. Let's check it out. I rolled 6. In the column of 6, in the verse of 6, it is 2. So Russian BTRs suffer 2-step losses again. It is first company. Oh, I bet it hurts. All right. And now I'm going to move the second company. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now Polish player decides to fire their drones on them. Drones have strength of 6. They have armor of 1. So let's try 5. 5 in the column of 4, it is 2. So this unit also suffer 2 points, two strength points loss. Alright, and now they are stopped. But because of that, Poles have only one drone remaining. And now I think that's all when it comes to the Russian movement, and we can go right into the Russian combat phase. So let's start here. Now they have strength of 6, they have strength of 7, but they are attacking to the river, so they have their strength halved. So we have 4 and 6, so I have 10 against 2, because this unit can also support defense even on this, if on the same hex. So we have 2, 10, it was 6 plus 4, so we have 10 against 2, so it is 5 to 1. Let's go into the combat results table. It's 5 to 1. Now we have plus 1 because of the Russian headquarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 6 to 1. And now there is a river, so we have 1, 2. It is woods, so we have 1, 2. And now Polish unit is in the fortifications, so it is 1 to 1. 9 in 1 to 1 means A1, so attacker has to retreat 1 hex. Oh, it was pretty good for Poles. So next we have to calculate losses. Russians had 10, they have -1 because of the fortifications, -2 because of the woods, and that's all, because it cannot go lower. It's 9, so Poles suffered no losses, and now Poles had strength of 2, +1 for the fortifications, 1, 2 because of the woods, and 1, 2 because of the river. So it's 25, 25, 11. Wow! Russians suffered 3 strength points loss. Wow! 1. That was quite painful for Russians. And next battle goes here. We have 1 and 1. Also, you can see this is sniper unit, so when it's attacked by the leg unit, then such a leg unit has its strength halved. So we have 2 against 4, and this is tank company, and it attacks into the woods, so it has its strength halved, so it has 4 and it is halved, so it is 2, so we have 6. Oh my! I will give them support of this artillery, so they have 9 against 2, it's 4 to 1. We have 5 to 1 because of the headquarter, and now we have 4 to 1 because of the fortifications, and 1 and 2 because of the woods. So it's 2 to 1, 6, B1. Polish defenders have to retreat 1 hex. So they are moving here, and Russians are moving onto this hex. Now let's calculate the losses. Russians had 9, so it's 6, 10. -1 because of the fortifications, and -2 because of the woods. It's 10. No losses for Poles. Poles have 2, +1, +2, 3. Russians suffer 2 points losses. So 1 and 1. And final battle we have here. It is 9. It is halved because of attacking into the woods, so it is 5. Sorry, 4, 5. Yes, 5, and these combat engineers have a strength of 3, so it is 8. 8 against 1, so it is 8 to 1. Russians have +1 because of the combat engineers, and +1 because of the headquarter, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Poles have +2 because of being in the woods, so 8 to 1, 4, it is B3. So Polish unit moves 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Russians are moving 1 and 2, 1, 2. Okay, so now let's calculate the losses. Russians had 8, minus 2, 1, 2, so it's 2, 3. 5, no losses for Polish platoon, and Polish platoon had a strength of 1, plus 2, it is 4, 5, 10, 1. So Russians suffer one strength point loss. I have to say that Poles have quite a luck for the losses roll for Russians. Alright, and now we have Polish movement phase. Oh, sorry. First we have Russian supply phase, but I think all Russian units are in supply. No, they are not. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This unit is not in supply. Supply is unsupplied, so it is marked as out of supply. Alright, so now we have Polish movement phase, and I think I will have to retreat from this part of the board. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now here. Because of the river, we don't have to make an attack. Because river nullifies zone of controls, so we are not forced to make such attacks. Only a river, not a stream. Stream is not working like that, but river is working like that, so we don't have to be afraid of zone of control here. And I think that's all when it comes to the Polish movement phase. And there is one more thing I can do. I might try to destroy this bridge. To make it happen, I have to be in the range of my combat engineers. They are here, so I'm in the range, because range of the combat engineers is the same as the number of their strength points, and for the Polish light infantry combat engineers it is 2. So I'm in the range, so I have to make a roll, and if I roll any other result than 2 or 3, this bridge is going to be destroyed. Oh, that was extremely bad roll, so this bridge remains untouched. I think I lost some of my explosives, or they weren't transported, or they were they were just not working. Something happened, but the bridge remains untouched. So we are moving into the next turn. Okay, let's go on with another turn. We are slowly coming to the end, so Russians have to hurry. So let's go on right into their movement phase, and now what are they going to do? I think that there is a chance to capture this bridge, since it is still not destroyed by Poles, and that's where I'm moving my BTRs, and when they are here I am allowed to fire on them with my anti-tank guided missile, but it will be harder because they are in the woods. So 1, 2, 3, I have firepower of 6 on the range of 3, and then I have to subtract 2 because they are in the woods. So I have 6, minus 1, that's their armor, so I have 5, and then minus 2, so it's 3. So I am firing on them. It is 7. Well, did I score a hit or not? 7 in the plus 3. Yes, it is a hit, so they suffer 1 step loss. And they are stopped. So I have to subtract 1 of my ATGMs. And now Russian tanks are moving here and here. Okay, but these tanks wouldn't be enough to attack this place, because their strength will be halved because of attack through the river. So I will need some more support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Poles are firing yet another ATGM, this time on this unit. The situation is the same as before, since this unit is also armed with BTR 80, so it is +3, and it is 10. Oh, it is 10, so it is a miss. It is a miss, so they can move right onto this hex, and now I have to subtract 1 ATGM point, and I have only 1 now. Okay, so that's all here, and now, no, this unit builds a bridge here, so it moves onto this side of the river, and I place a bridge counter here. And now I would need some other support here, but well, first I will move my headquarter here, so it will provide support for this combat. Now these units would attack here, and now this mechanized infantry will go 1, 2, 3, and this unit will go 1, 2. Alright, so I think that's all when it comes to the Russian movement phase. Yes, I think that's all. And now we are moving into the Russian combat phase. Okay, let's start here. It will be the hardest of battles in this phase, I believe. Oh, before we start, we still have Polish counter-attack phase, but, well, Poles are not going to do anything. So let's go on with Russian attacks. So starting here we have this tank company supported by combat engineers. So this is first company, and it has 9 points of strength, and because attacking through the river it's halved, so it is 5. And now combat engineers have, sorry, I have to check which this is second company, and it has its strength 2. So I have 6 against 2, so it's 3-1. And now because of this, because we have a sniper unit here, so combat engineers have their strength halved, so they have 1 and 4 and 5. This is, sorry, 1 and 5, yes, so they have 6 against 2, so it's 3-1. So let's go on with the combat table. It's 3-1. We have 1, 2 because of the river, so it's 1-1. And now Russians have 1, 2, 3, 4 because of their HQ, and Poles also have 1, 2 bonus of their HQ, so HQ support nullifies each other, so we have 1-1, and it is 5. B1, so defender has to retreat 1 hex, and attacker moves onto the other side of the river. And these tanks can do this because they are on the same hex with combat engineers. And now let's calculate the losses. Russians had 6 strength points and 1, 2 because of the river, so it's 2, 3, 7. It is nothing. Poles have 2 and 1, 2 because of the river. It is 11. Wow, great roll. So each Russian unit suffers 1 step loss. Okay, and now here, and I will use my artillery to support this battle. So I have 3, this one has 4, so it has 2, so it is 5, and this one has 4, so it is 2, so I have 7 against 1 and 2. 7 against 2 is 3-1. I have a support of my HQ, so I have 4-1, and then 1, 2 because of the river, and 1 because an enemy is fortified. I can't use Polish HQ support because this HQ is under attack, and when it's under attack it cannot support each other itself. So it's 1 to 1 again, and it is 8. 8 is A1, so attacker has to retreat 1 hex. Well, that's bad. Okay, and the final battle we have here. So this unit has 6, this one has 3, so it is 9, and now it is this unit is not in supply, so it has its strength halved, so it has 6, and it's halved, so it has 3, so it is 6, 10, and 13. We have 13 against 2, so it is 6 to 1. They have Russians have their headquarters support, so they have 7 to 1, and then -1 because of the fortifications, and -2 because of the woods. So it's 4 to 1. Oh, and the result is 10. 10 is B1, so defender has to retreat 1 hex, and attacker can take this hex. So let's calculate the losses. Oh, I forgot, I think, to calculate the losses here. Sorry for that. So I have to do so. I had 610 minus 1 and 2 because of the river, and -1 because of the bridge. 10, it is nothing, and Poles 2 and 3 plus 1, 1, 2, so it's 11, 13, so it's 1. So Russians suffering 1 step loss. And now here I had 13 and -2, 1, 2, so and 1 because of the fortification, so it's 2, 3, 5, no losses for Poles, and Poles had 2, 1 because of the fortifications, 1, 2 because of the woods, 8, Russians suffering 1 strength point loss. Alright, so that's for Russian attacks, and now now we have Russian supply phase. So this unit is in supply because it is in the range of its headquarters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can be supplied because there is a bridge here. And now these units 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they are in the range of supply, but since there is a river and there is no bridge, so they cannot get a supply, so they are out of supply. Okay, so that's all when it comes to Russians, and now we have to move Polish units. So 1, 2, they are moving into this village. They are moving as well. This anti-AO section is actually not very useful for me now because there are no AO units in this scenario. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now they are fortifying here, and they will try to destroy this bridge again. I have to roll 1d6 and get the result, which is not 2 or 3. It is a 6, great. So this bridge goes boom. Alright, so that's all. I think when it comes to Poles, I'm not going to make any attacks with them. No, I'm not going to do any attacks. So that's all, and they are still all in supply. So this concludes this turn. Okay, so we are going to play another next turn, which is going to be the last day turn of this scenario. We have 3 turns to finish this scenario, but of these 3 turns, this is the last daily turn. The other 2 turns are night turns. So let's carry on, And first I'm going to make some movement with Russians. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm taking control over this village. 5, 6, 7, 8. This village is also under my control. 8, 9. Now they are moving here to push Poles from this village here. Okay, and I will move my camera a bit so you will be able to see this part of the board, because otherwise it would be hard to play. Okay, so I think this will be good. And now I will try to launch yet another attack onto this place as well. I will move my headquarter and my artillery from 1, 2, 3. And now these Russian tanks are attacking here, and this unit attacks here, so it has to keep out of supply marker as well. Alright, so that's all when it comes to the Russian movement phase. Yes, and well, maybe I should move this headquarter here, so it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so these units will be in range of command. That's good. And now let's carry on with Russian attacks. And now here I have 5 and 6, so it is 11, and this one has 4, so I have 15. Oh, sorry, but this one has no, it is all right. So it is 15 against 2, so it is 7 to 1. And Poles are in the village, so they have +1 in their favor, so it is 6 to 1. Oh, 6 to 1. It is B1. Oh, that was close. If it would be 5 to 1, then they would have to retreat 1 hex. But since it's 5 to 1, they have to retreat. Okay, so I'm capturing this village, and I'm placing control marker onto this. It will be quite important for me to remember. Okay, and now let's calculate losses. Russians had 11, 15 strength, and -1 because of attacking into the village, so it's 6, 10, and 10. This is one strength point loss for Poles. So it's this platoon suffers 1 point loss, and now here I have 3. Now this company has 3 as well, so it has 2 because it attacks through the river. It has 2, so it's 5. It has also 2, so it's 7, and this one has 2 as well, so it is 9. I have 9 against 2, so it's 4 to 1, 5 to 1 because of the Russian headquarter, 4, 3 to 1 because of the river, 2 to 1 because of the Polish fortifications, and 1 to 1 because there is a village on that hex here. So we have 1 to 1 again. I forgot about this village in the previous combat, sorry. And 3. Oh, good shot. Rush B2, so defender has to retreat 2 hexes. 1, 2. And Russians are moving. 1, 2. Like that. So they also control this village. And now let's calculate the losses. It is 6, 10 for Russians, and it goes into the 1 to 1 because there was a number of negative modifiers, so it's 7, no losses for Poles, and for Poles we have 2 and 3, plus 1 because of the fortifications, plus 1 because of the village, and plus 2 because of the river, so it's 16, 20 verse. Oh gosh, 3. So each Russian unit suffers 1 point loss. Poles have a really good luck for the losses roll. Okay, so now, and we have the final battle here. So each of these Russian unit is out of supply, so it has its strength halved. So this one has 8, so it has 4, and combat engineers have 1, so they have 1. So I have 5 against 2, so it's 2 to 1, and -1 because of the -2 because of the woods, and -3 because of the Polish headquarter. So it's 1, 2, 3, 8, A1. So the attacker has to retreat 1 hex. And now let's calculate losses. We have we had 6, 10, 4, 5 for Poles. So for Russians, and -2 because of the woods, so it's 1, and it is a hit. Poles are suffering 1 strength point loss, and Russians, the Poles have 2, 1, 2, 7. It is a hit. 1 strength point loss of Russians. Okay, so now Russian supply phase, and now this is going to be hard because you can see Russians might have problems. Russians might have problems because, well, this is where their HQ is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these units are in supply, but they are not, because, well, this bridge is destroyed, and here we cannot provide any supply, because all these hexes around are controlled by the enemy or in the enemy zones of control. So these 2 units are out of supply, along with these guys. So time for Poles. I think I will fortify this section here. These guys will move here. They will build some fortifications here, and now they will retreat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and these here, they are in the woods, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the Polish retreat. Remember that Polish unit might move through the enemy zones of control because they are they are territorial defense. Normal units wouldn't be able to make such a movement because there are enemy zones of control everywhere, but territorial defense is allowed to make such a movement. So that's all for Poles, and they are in supply, so that's all for this turn, and that's the end of the last daily turn, and starting with the next turn we have night turns only. Okay, how do night turns work? Before every combat we have to make a roll, and we might get some nasty stuff to do. Also, minefield losses are double, and a lot of armored units have their firepower, fire combat range reduced to 1. So normally when our armored units have their firepower, fire combat range, for example 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes range, now they are only allowed to fire at the range of 1 hex. We don't have any armored unit on Polish side, so we never made any serious fire combat against two armored units in this scenario. We also had ATGMs and drones to perform some fire combat, but it is very one-sided. While normally, when we have, for example, two tanks on the different sides, they are able to fire at each other, and then they both suffered some losses. But when we have ATGMs or drones, then only target suffers any losses. So, alright, let's go with first of the night turns, and we are moving right into the Russians. So, I will move these combat engineers here. Let them build some bridge in this Pashin village. And next. I am moving, what can I do? I think I will move here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to attack here. Now, these all units are out of supply, and also they would have their strength halved because of that, and sometimes maybe even quadrupled, because if tanks that are out of supply that are attacking woods, then they have their strength halved for the first time because of the out of supply, and then another time because of the woods. So, well, you can tell this is not a very good idea. Alright, so what else can I do? I can move these combat engineers to capture this village. More victory points for me. And now I won't be attacked, because these attacks wouldn't give me much. They would probably make Russians to suffer more losses, and I think I will wait for the last turn to have this bridge built here, or rebuilt here, and it will be more effective. Alright, so we have only one combat in this... Wait, I should do something better. I have this headquarters, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 17, 18, 19. Let it say here, so it will be able to support this battle. So I'm attacking this with these two mechanized units, this Polish group, and now how strong Russians are. 3 because of the artillery, and these two mechanized companies have total of 11, so I have 14 against 2. So we have 7 to 1, but first I have to make a roll for the night combat, because when you are attacking during the night phase, during the night turn, you have to make a roll. And if we would get 1, then defender gets positive -2 modifier, and attacker loses 1 strength point. If we roll 2, then we have also -2 only. If we roll 3, we have -1. If we get 4, then each side suffers 1 strength point loss. 5 is no result, and 6 is positive +2 for the attacker. It is 2, so we get -2. So we have 14 against 2, and Polish are calling their artillery, their mortars, so we have 3. So we have 14 versus 3. So it is 3 to 1. We have 4 to 1 because of the Russian HQ, and then we have 1, 2 because of the woods, and 1, 2 because of this modifier from die roll. So it's 1 to 2, not a very good for Russians. 9, it is A1, so attacker has to retreat 1 hex. And now Poles, if they want, they can even get this village back, and they will try to do so. Okay, so I forgot about one more modifier, because Poles have their own headquarter here, and it was in the range of combat, so we have to make one more shift, and we have A2. So Russians are attacking are retreating 2 hexes. Okay, sorry for that. And now let's calculate the losses. Poles had 3, and now +1 because +1 +2 because of the woods, so it's 610. We don't use this modifier from the night combat here. 7. It is -1, so Russians are suffering 1 step loss. And now Russians, they had 11, 15, and -2 because of the woods, 4, 5, 6, no losses. Okay, time for their supply phase, and now these units are in supply. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are in supply, and they are not. So this unit remains out of supply. Alright, so that's all when it comes to the Russians, and now we have Polish movement phase. So I think everything all Poles can do is to fortify in this village, and maybe I have a single platoon here. So I will move these mortars here, and this platoon 1, 2 will take this place. Okay, so that's all for Poles. They are still fully supplied. So we are moving down into the last turn of the scenario. Russians are rebuilding their bridge. Sorry, that's I might just remove these counters. So since bridge is here back to normal, and these units are here. Alright, so let's go and carry on with the last Russian movement. And now, are there any fitting targets for me? I think these villages are out of my range for now, so I cannot capture them. But, well, I have this unit here. It has its movement halved because of the out of supply. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this village is captured by Russians. And I think that's all. I'm not going to launch any attacks here because, well, it would be pointless for me. I don't have any chances to get any of the villages that I would like to hold. To capture, and I think that I would mostly suffer more losses. So that's all for Russians, and Poles are not making any movement as well. So this concludes the last turn of the game. So let's calculate the victory points. Russians get 1 victory points for each village controlled on the south side of the river Montfa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Poles 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is a very 5. There is also one more. I forgot totally about this village here. So we have 5 to 5. So it's a draw. I think that's all. As I said before, this is kind of introductory scenario, so there's not much funny stuff to do, save to maybe ATGMs and drones. But you can see that Poles managed to slow down Russians a bit. Russians suffered some losses, as you can tell by the looking at their table. There are some serious losses for the Russians, especially for the Russian tanks that were forced to attack into the very unfriendly terrain like woods and or attacking to the river. And drones made their job quite nicely, destroying a lot of Russian vehicles, especially hitting hard Russian artillery. Normally this Russian artillery unit is very dangerous for Poles because it has strength of 8 and it might attack onto the entire board actually, because its fire range is 30 hexes. So all the board is in the range of this unit, and because of the good attacks of the drones, it was successfully nullified. I think Russians should rather keep this artillery in the woods, so Polish drones wouldn't be that effective. Okay, so that's all for this scenario. I might play more of this game later to show you more fancy stuff like AO units and armored and tank duels and so, but that's for later. As for now, thank you for watching and see you again.